Let's be honest, we both know that it can seem like a drag and a nag to make home repairs after a home inspection, yet it's one of those things that must be tended to prior to closing. So as we move through your closing process, let's talk about some of the most common things that come up in a repair request and what you must fix, so might as well get a jump start on it now. My name is Andrew Finney, and my passion is helping you make sense of real estate. If you need help finding a top agent where you live, or if you simply want to drop me a line to say hello, my contact info is below. If you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel now and like this video. Thank you. All right, my friend, let's take a closer look at this. We both know that there's going to be a lot of things that the buyer might ask. Some buyers don't ask for a lot depending on how well you maintained your home, but either way, it's very, very common they're going to ask for something. There's some things that must be fixed, and there's some things that don't have to be fixed, and of course, there's the negotiables. The first thing that we should take a look at are the common repairs required after a home inspection. Some repairs are so important that the lender will actually not lend the money or release the funds to buy the home until these repairs are made. These normally fall underneath what are called health and safety conditions. When you're thinking about what is a health and safety condition, think about smoke alarms or carbon monoxide detectors if they're required in your state. If every room doesn't have one, then you're going to need to add it so that the lender will release the money for the buyer so they can close on their new home and you can move on to where you want to go. It's also pretty curious, like here in Las Vegas, Nevada, for instance, there's such a thing called earthquake straps. Now, I don't know how much you know about Las Vegas. I guess technically we're kind of on a tectonic plate and we could get some earthquakes. At the same time, if those things called earthquake straps aren't around a water heater, it can actually stall the lender from being able to fund on that loan. So it's one of those little bitty things that's kind of annoying. That's why we called it kind of a nag or a drag with some of the stuff, but they're very, very important things to get done. So if you notice that you don't have earthquake straps around your water heater and that's something that might be required where you live, or if you know it's common that there's other things that are required for where you live, go ahead and tend to it now before the appraiser gets out there. It'll save you a lot of time moving forward through the closing process, and it'll be one less thing that you have to worry about. For a full list of things that are common in your area for buyers or request and those things that are required, talk it over with your trusted real estate advisor and prepare now and go ahead and get it done. The second thing is knowing what isn't required to be fixed. Now, these normally fall underneath cosmetics. So if you need to do some touch-up paint here or there, you take something off the wall, this would all fall underneath cosmetics of repainting. Now, is it the polite and right thing to do to go ahead and do some touch-up, go ahead and repair any holes in the wall? Of course it is. I mean, how would you feel if you moved into a home and the seller had just left it there and you got all these things that look like bullet holes in the wall because you had so much art up on the walls when you lived there? It would be the polite and right thing to do. All the same, it's not a requirement to get done. Now, where this gets a little bit interesting is if the buyer is making that request of you, the seller, and you say, yes, I agree to do it, because you have both now agreed to it in writing, it will become an expectation moving forward through the closing process. So make sure that you chat over the options that you have about what's required versus what is not required with your trusted real estate advisor and be clear on what you agree to prior to signing the repair request from the buyer. That takes us to home repairs that are negotiable. So when we're talking about home repairs that are negotiable, once we take care of what is required for the buyer to be able to receive funding pursuant to the lending guidelines of their loan type, that takes care of the requirement. When we look at the things that may not necessarily have to be done, like the cosmetic stuff, what is polite and right to go ahead and address, at the same time, everything else falls underneath to negotiable items. So what do negotiable items look like? Negotiable items could be that leaky toilet. You know, that toilet kind of has that slow drip that goes through it all the time. It's kind of annoying. You and I both know it costs about $15 to get a new little dopper thing that goes in the toilet to fix it. And you could fix that. It's a negotiable item, or you could say, hey, you know what? It's part of home maintenance. Why don't you go ahead and take care of that since you're buying the house? Thank you very much, right? Consider a repair request from a buyer essentially like a honey-do list. It's what should be done to the property, and these items become negotiable. Just like that toilet, you might know that your AC or your heater might need to be serviced. They might ask for these things, and these things become negotiable items. Of course, it would be nice in a perfect and ideal world if you had the ability to fix everything on a repair request. At the same time, it would also be nice and ideal in a perfect world if the buyer didn't request every single thing around the house to be repaired as well. At the end of the day, it's really negotiable for all the items that are not required, and understanding what is a cosmetic issue that doesn't have to necessarily be fixed in a repair request. Understanding the difference between what's required and what's not required means that everything else is negotiable. It's up to you and the buyer to come to terms on that and chat it over with your trusted real estate advisor, and if it's within your ability to do, why not do it just to make the buyer happy and keep everybody comfortable and confident moving forward? At the same time, if it's not within your ability to do it, then let's be practical. One of the other things that buyers will sometimes accept in the lieu of repairs would be a credit towards their buyer closing costs or a credit towards their down payment. If that's easier for you, then it's obviously something that could be negotiated. Talk it over with your trusted real estate advisor and make the decision that's best for you. That takes us to the fourth thing, which is how to negotiate those home repairs that are asked for. Now, one of the best things to do in a matter of practice is offer a home warranty. That home warranty could be for 12 months, and let's say it's gonna cost $500 or $600 for the house. I mean, of course, depending on what you have with the house, it could be slightly more, slightly less, given the size. Do you have a pool? Do you have a spa? All of that stuff should be factored in. At the same time, here's the point. If you offer a home warranty, what are you offering that buyer in practice? You're offering them the opportunity to have peace of mind of knowing that once they receive ownership and possession of that property that has now become their home, if something like a water heater or an HVAC system goes out, then they have a warranty to turn to, pay a small deductible, call out the repair people, and have it fixed. It provides peace of mind moving forward. In practice here in Las Vegas, Nevada, I always, as a practice, write into a contract a 12-month home warranty request for the buyer. That being said, it's a good idea to go ahead and extend it and make it known up front if it's something that you want to do to try to insulate yourself from some of the repairs that are going to be requested. That doesn't alleviate the responsibility that you have to ensure that the required repairs are done. To gain clarity and focus on what is required, again, please talk it over with your trusted real estate advisor about common repairs and those that are required pursuant to a lending program for the buyer to receive the funds to close on your home in your area. The second thing that you could do to try to mitigate any of the repair requests other than what's required is to barter for something of value to the buyer. Let's say that you were planning on taking your refrigerator out of the house, and maybe you got one of those really fancy refrigerators that like order the groceries for you, that let you know whenever the water filter needs to be changed.
Hi Bixby, start the washing machine.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
And it gives you status updates. You can probably even watch this YouTube video from some of these fancy smancy refrigerators. Let's say that you were gonna take that refrigerator with you, but you noticed the buyers were Googling and oogling that refrigerator. What you could do is offer the refrigerator in place of the repairs being requested from the buyer, keeping in mind that anything that comes up as a required repair will still need to be done. At the same time, it could very possibly mitigate all of those nagging and dragging repairs that are being requested that really kind of are annoying because they're home maintenance items, right? So it's something to consider, it's something to think about, and it's most definitely something you want to discuss with your trusted real estate advisor. So now that you know more about what's likely going to happen when the buyer makes their repair request of you, let's talk about what home inspectors look for in a home inspection and the wisdom of having a home pre-inspection completed. Looking forward to our next conversation. We'll see you in a few.